Mr. Outstanding, Cameron Gamble.
Thank you. Woo! All right, let's go. Let's get this party started. How you guys doing? Woo! Let's wave over here. Let's see. How you guys doing over here? Hey! I like that. Let's go over here. Let's see how these guys over here doing. How you guys doing? Yeah. This might be my side. How about the middle? How you guys doing? All right. You guys take a seat. I always start with one single question. How's everybody doing? Outstanding. I certainly love to hear that. Let's give it up to Mr. Delco, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Michael Delco, Mrs. Delco, putting on this spectacular event so that we can make sure we grow our business. For those of you, if this is your first Let's Go weekend, raise your hand. Let's give them a round of applause, guys. Look around. Wow. I started Karatbars just a little while ago, and when I came to my first Let's Go weekend, it wasn't this big. And you know why it's got this big? Because of people like you. Because of people that understand that there is no limit to what we do. Let's see if... All right, now I think we're good. So here's a little bit about me. And how did I get the opportunity to be in front of you today? So I'm from Washington, D.C. I came here specifically to do this. DMV in the house? Yeah, DMV in the house, so we love that. So I know some of you guys are saying, they're from the Department of Motor Vehicles? No, that's actually Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, right? I've been in D.C. for a little while now, but let me just tell you about the journey that I've had to get to in front of you guys today. I remember when I started working in this industry. I'm going to tell you a quick story and how I got cemented in this opportunity. There was a friend of mine who started in this industry, in the industry of networking. And at that time, I was doing some financial services thing. I worked for a firm, a financial firm that you guys may have heard of. Small firm named Merrill Lynch. Anybody ever heard of it? So I worked for the firm and I'm doing some good things, but a buddy of mine who was in the networking business, he comes to me and he says, I want to tell you about this industry that I'm in and just how fabulous it is. I said, well, you know, I've heard about things like this before. Everything is fabulous until you actually start it. Long story short, the guy comes by my house. He's been in the business for about a year. He pulls up, he's got a brand new car. I go looking at the car and I look at the license plate, and on the back of the license plate, he's got "Told You" on his license plate. Brand new convertible BMW. Fast forward about a year, calls me up, hey, are you home? I'm in your neighborhood. I'm like, uh-oh, I know how this story goes. Sure. I go outside, and now, instead of it being a convertible BMW, it's a convertible Bentley. And the license plate has "Told You" too. That's when I realized that this industry is unlike any other industry, period. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. But on top of that, Karatbars is the best opportunity in the world, period. So here's what we're going to show you. By the time this is over, you will have the opportunity to get back with the person that invited you and let them know if this is an opportunity for you. If it's not an opportunity for you, that is okay. But by the time this is over, you will have enough information to understand why this room is packed, why we're so excited about Karatbars, and why the person that invited you to be here today, if you are looking at this as a potential opportunity for you, why they wanted to invite you to this opportunity. So let's get into it. Here's what you have to understand. Today, I will call myself your unofficial financial advisor. So what that means is, I'm not going to charge you for some of this advice I'm going to give you. Here's the reality. When I first started working at the firm, they told us there are two types of people. There are people that earn interest and people that pay interest. And you've got to decide which person that you are. And let me tell you why that was mind-blowing for me. Because that's when I realized that the wealthy have an entirely different way of talking to their children, of making sure that the next generation doesn't have to start over from scratch. See, if you were like me, you were told that you need to go to school, you need to work hard, you need to make good grades, and that's how you persevere. How many people heard that before in their life like that? Okay? Now let me show you why this doesn't necessarily work for the long term. And this is what I learned from the wealthy. So again, as your unofficial financial advisor, you might want to listen to this. Raise your hand if you had hard-working, fingers to the bone kind of grandparents that worked hard. I mean, just really worked really hard. Okay, now this is social proof. Keep your hands raised for me. Now I want everybody to just kind of look around the room and see how many hands are raised. If you are financially free because of your grandparents' hard work, keep your hand raised. Now look around the room. That shows you that hard work is not really the answer. You know what happens? We got one person? Oh. So here's what happens. I was about to say, we need to talk to you. But here's what happens. Because most people don't understand that as the cost of goods and services go up, which is the red line that you see, your income, because of the purchasing power of a dollar, goes down. So here you are talking to your boss. Hey, I need to get a raise, boss. And the boss says, okay, well, tell me why you need a raise. Because I've been working hard. I've been doing some great things. Okay, great. And you get a raise. You get a 2% raise. And then the cost of goods and services go up by 5%. Are you hustling forward or are you hustling backwards? So this is why people who have wealth can continue to grow their wealth, because they find things that continually grow over time. Because the one thing that we can say for sure, whether you think this is an opportunity for yourself or not, the one thing that we know is no matter how good your job is and how good you are at your job, you cannot leave your kids your cubicle. And some of y'all think about that on the way home. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, said if you don't find a way to make money while you're sleeping, you will have to work until you die. And that's powerful, ladies and gentlemen, because this is why so many of us have to start over from scratch. Because we keep working hard, but the system that we know of going to school for 12 years, going to maybe advanced education for another 4 years, is not working any longer. Does everybody realize that? I mean, it used to be a time where you worked for a company for a lot of years, Mr. Best, we talked about this, right? You retire from that company, they give you a nice pretty what? Gold watch. So you all know about it. And then you get your pension and you ride off into the sunset. Most of you guys can't even keep your job for 5 years. How you gonna get the watch? So you have to understand that you've now got to start putting some stuff into motion. So let me run through some of this stuff kind of quickly. Here's one of my favorite slides that I love to talk to people. Everybody wants to be the CEO. Everybody wants to be at the top. But everybody can't be at the top. The majority of people never really make it past that bottom level, right? You've got the bottom level of people who are working, the next level up, you've got managers, you've got supervisors, and there's somebody who's at the top that makes the majority of the money. Well, here's what happens. After you do that for 30 or 40 years, then you figure out, you know what? This really isn't working. Somebody comes to you and they come to you with an opportunity and they say there is a better way. But you know what happens to a lot of people? Because the only thing that they know is that system that they've been taught. They say, no, I'm good. I'm cool. No, thank you. Have any of you guys ever heard that before? Let me show you why this is really the best way. Look at these industries that we're all familiar with and how much money they generate. The NFL, $9.5 billion. I think that number went up this year or last year to about $15 billion a year in revenue. The music industry, one that everybody knows. You guys probably have a popular song. The music industry is turning upside down on itself now. It used to be you buy albums and stuff. For you millennials, you have to go Google what an album is. Some of you guys remember albums. The music industry, the movie industry, the organic industry now is taking off. But you know what? Out of all of those, you know what the #1 industry in producing revenue is? The networking industry, guys. The networking industry. Look at that, $167 billion last year. That's more than the NFL and the music industry combined. So imagine the power if you could just get a percentage, just a slither of all of those billions of dollars. Would that be exciting? No, let's ask you that again. Would that be exciting? Yeah, that would really be exciting. And let me tell you why it's even more exciting for those of us that are in this room. The #1 rule when it comes to becoming rich is this. And if you have something to write this down, you want to make sure you write this down. The #1 rule in becoming rich is pay yourself first. Is so critical. It sounds so simple, but we miss out on that. We pay the cable bill, the light bills, the rent, the mortgage, the cars, we pay everything. A sad statistic I saw in the USA Today at the end of last year said about 40% of Americans don't have $1,000 that they can put their hands on in a savings account. Now let me tell you why that's crazy. Let's just say you're 35 years of age. You started working when you were, I don't know, 18. That means you've been working for maybe 17 years. If you are 35, you've been working for 17 years, and you don't have $1,000, that means you couldn't manage to save, let's call it $60 a year, or $5 a month. Now we know in reality, most people can save $5 a month, isn't that right? But the only reason why most people can't is because they put it in something that they call savings. But let me tell you why savings is not really a savings. If you have an account that you call savings, and all you have to do is click your mouse to put it into the checking account, let me tell you what's gonna happen. As soon as you need to buy those shoes, as soon as the washing machine goes out, you know what happens? You make that click, done. You've got to put your money in a safe store of value, something that continues to go up in value over time. You guys know where I'm going with this? You guys get where this is going? Let me show you how exciting this is. You've got to really understand the lifestyle that we are really embarking upon. Check this out. Here's a car. We call it a Model T, I think it is, in 1920. You could have taken a kilogram of gold and bought this car. Now, back in the day when this car was out, I mean, this was hot. Had the fancy little wheel on the side. I mean, look at that. Look how convenient that is. Makes me think of my first car. It was a 4-speed. You ever heard of a 4-speed in your life? My car was so nice, we had bench seats. So Mr. Roddy Berger, myself, and 3 of my other friends could all sit in the front seat at one time. I spent money and bought my own first car. What if I'd have bought a kilogram of gold? Let me show you what that equates to. A kilogram of gold could have bought that car in 1945, okay? Or a kilogram of gold could buy a car of about a $40,000 value right now in today's market. So what that means is you need to put your money into something that is a safe store of value. How many of you guys would want my first car that I had, my 4-speed, 4-door? How many of you guys would want that? My children don't want it either. But you think they may want my kilogram of gold? How many people have any gold out there? Let me see, by a show of hands. That's how you set up the next generation, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you make sure the next generation in your family tree doesn't have to start over from scratch. You used to go to the supermarket with a $20 bill. You could get some groceries. Fast forward a couple of years, take that same $20, you get a little less groceries. In Washington, D.C., we don't even have a basket now. Your $20 goes so far that they give you just a little hand basket that you walk in, you put your grapes and your oranges on your wrist and you walk out with your $20. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? The purchasing power of $1 goes down. Look at this. A gram of gold in 1971 could have bought you maybe 5 loaves of bread. $1 in 1971 might have bought you maybe 4 loaves of bread. So this side of the room saves their $1. This side of the room saves their gold. Let me show you what happened. Look at this side. In the middle, you guys are like 50-50. I don't really know about you guys. But look at what happens. Fast forward from 1971 till today, your gram of gold would buy you maybe 8 loaves of bread. Your dollar, you guys, you don't even get a whole sandwich. 2 slices of bread. So think about what that means when you tell your children that you need to put 2 or 3 times your salary away for what? A rainy day. That's what we're all taught. What you're really teaching your children is that you are going to put yourself in a declining proposition that when you need it most, it won't even be there. Since 1932, gold has outpaced the dollar. Look at this. Is this crazy or what? 6,200%. So you think about me and my 4-speed car. If I would have bought a gram of gold, maybe a kilogram of gold, I'd be up 6,200% today. You guys don't even understand the power of that. Because this is what happens. When you have an opportunity like this, an opportunity of a lifetime, this is when a room swells like this. Because this is when you can't contain your excitement. This is when you have to introduce this to other people. This is when your swag becomes all different. This is when your bank account starts growing. This is when you don't really care if people think you're crazy. I love it when people look at me like I'm crazy when I talk to them about this opportunity we call Karatbars. When they look at me like I'm crazy, you know how I look at them? Like they're normal. Yeah, my man, 40 years. I'll see you later. Karatbars, founded in 2011 in Stuttgart, Germany. Guys, we are in store for a treat today. I'm just so excited. I can't even wait to get there. Headquarters of Karatbars is located in the same area as Mercedes-Benz headquarters. So we're talking about the high-rent district. And you know what we owe it all to? We owe it all to one gentleman. One gentleman who had the vision. One gentleman who had the vision. Without further ado, please, Thank you, Dr. Sykes. We appreciate you. We love you. Unbelievable. A well-renowned author, a philanthropist, the visionary of all of the things that we have in Karatbars. It is so crazy. He knew it was coming. He wrote a book in the past about the future of money. Woo! His mission was very, very simple. He wanted to make sure that he created the highest quality of gold in the market, make it easily accessible to the masses of honest people around the world, and at a price point that everybody could afford. See, everybody knows gold is valuable and important, but when was the last time you walked into Kroger with a bullion of gold? See, it doesn't work.